When starting to design a game, core gameplay is always the first thing a game designer instinctively thinks about. A good core gameplay can have the potential to bring infinite fun to the player. An interesting point in modern games, whether AAA or indie, is that developers tend to combine multiple core gameplay elements to enrich the player's experience and expand their player base. For example, in the AAA segment, we can mention Uncharted with its two core gameplay elements, 3D platforming combined with third-person shooter. God of War combines puzzle-solving adventure with third-person beat-em-up. For indie games, we can mention Battletech Brigade, which combines side-scrolling combat and mastery mechanics. Creative and awesome, isn't it? Many developers refer to the combination of multiple core gameplay as multi-core. And the Mage Slayer will also be a multi-core game. Why and how such a decision made? Can't wait to tell you more about this story. Before answering the question of why we chose the multi-core design, let's go back to the initial concept of the game. Here's a quick recap. Combat in a 2.5D perspective. The protagonist is a swordman with no magic. The enemies are mages. The protagonist uses physical abilities and superhuman speed thanks to training to defeat enemies. Regarding magic in the game, the term magic is quite broad. If you often watch movies and read stories, you might see that magic comes in many forms. There's fire, water, lightning, ice, and so on. Choosing themes for the types of magic in the game was quite a headache. But eventually we decided on the 5 themes based on the Asian fundamental 5 elements, which are fire, wood, earth, metal, and water. The interaction rules of these 5 elements may not fully portray the real-life phenomena, but they are logical and interesting enough to incorporate into an indie game project like the Mage Slayer. I presented this idea to my teacher Olivier at Montreal Video Game School. He suggested combining the core gameplay of a side-scrolling platformer like Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown with third-person combat like Devil May Cry. At first, I wasn't very keen on the idea because my character is designed with a 3-head proportion. I looked at a few third-person hack-and-slash games with similar character proportions and found that the game feel wasn't very good. However, the idea kept haunting me, partly because I've always been passionate about creating an exciting combat experience in games such as Devil May Cry, Ninja Gaiden, and Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, like what I mentioned in the first video. Moreover, there is an issue with the side-scrolling perspective. It would be challenging to fully portray the protagonist's key traits: speed, keen observation, agility, and the difficulty in adapting to the powerful magical ability of the enemies. It's not something impossible, but it would be hard to achieve perfectly. So, after a few days, I messaged Olivier and said, "Okay, I accept this challenge. But what about the issue of the character proportions affecting the game feel?" I reached out to Tuấn Anh, the concept artist of the game, to adjust the character proportion from 3 heads tall to 5 heads tall. Okay, done. Actually, it wasn't that simple. I spent quite a bit of time researching and consulting with a few friends and partners. Eventually, I found a game quite similar, Kingdom Hearts, which has a good game feel using characters with the 5 tall proportions. That's when I made the decision. And when a game has more than one core gameplay, you need to decide the importance of each core gameplay within the entire game. The weight of each core can be equally distributed, like 50-50 when there are 2 core gameplays, or 33-33-33 for 3 core gameplay, similar to Uncharted or God of War 2018. Alternatively, you can give one core a higher weight than the others, like in Devil May Cry 4, where the ratio between combat and puzzle solving is about 70-30. And in its sequel, this ratio changed drastically to 90-10, as there were hardly any memorable puzzle levels in that game. Note that these numbers are relatively subjective and based on my personal opinion. Determining the weight of each core gameplay helps identify the primary target audience of the game and indicates where the team should focus more time and effort during the development. In the Mage Slayer, the third-person combat will have a higher weight. That's why I prioritize implementing this core gameplay first. Adjusting some basic mechanics like combo and camera switching didn't actually take too much time. At this point, the challenge lies in fine-tuning the game feel. Compared to the prototype I presented in the previous video, I have now delved deeper into the gameplay ability system, or GAS, of Unreal Engine 5. This system is indeed complex and requires a significant amount of time to learn and understand before implementing it in the game. When I started using it, I had to rewrite most of the project's code, which took me more than 2 weeks. But that was just for the setup phase. Once the basic framework is set up, subsequent features can be implemented more quickly and can be more easily modified when needed. Moreover, for the combo system with the support of the Combo Graph plugin, I can flexibly adjust the effects of every single attack. Since this plugin is built with GAS in mind, it significantly reduces the amounts of work requiring C++ and allows me to focus more on using blueprints and the custom editor designed for it. This is a great plugin if you want to create something like a melee combat mechanic, and I highly recommend you try it out. In summary, after all that time and effort, I have implemented the following basic combat mechanics. Basic light attack, knock-up attack, aerial attack, and ground slam. I really wish I could show you something more visually appealing, but I genuinely need more time. So, see you in the next devlog.